a while back.
It was juicy.
I got a text from Crystal saying, chapter 40, was it 44?
Yes, because I was listening to it
She's
and I
like,
was like,
chapter
ooh, that was
44.
like, that was
What's
too
going
juicy.
on?
Is that when they were having relations?
Yes, but like he was moaning.
Yeah, he
And I
was.
was like, like he got like really into it. And I was just like, oh my God, this kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, that voice actor freaked me out.
I think he got hella excited to do that.
Yeah.
What was it? I think it was that's when Vicky, I think, said that he did kill his dad, right?
Yeah.
That was the main thing that was said. But then it's like, you're going above and beyond. You don't need to. You need to calm down.
Can you win awards for like best audible, like audiobook?
I don't know about
Like the
that.
way that it was performed, like in movies.
There must be, but there's not like part of like the big awards or like I know
Like
there's a lot of
little.
like little things.
I just remember driving home and thinking like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was listening to it driving and I was very uncomfy.
Yeah, I'm always worried people will hear because like sometimes I hear other people.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen The Office?
Yeah.
So when what's her name? Phyllis, when Phyllis is listening to 50 Shades and she has her earbuds in and she's just like she's like heavy breathing but like sitting there. They have to throw water on her to snap her out. That's kind of what I picture.
But I also feel like she was just playing him, like she's just feeding him these thoughts. Like she knew that he knew everything.
How does she know all of this? Like, we found out that she's like, oh no, I know that's not Christian. His name is Nick or whatever. Like, how does she get all that information?
Google maybe.
Yeah.
No, I know she did her research, but like, is she that like not necessarily paranoid, but does she do that with everyone she kind of like meets, or only the people she was gonna like do financial business with?
I think she like seeks these people out. Like I kind of also think that she knows like everything about all these people and like wants to like she wanted to find some guy like Christian. And so she was like trying to find people and then found him and then found out everything about him. If that makes sense. And people like Simon, like she wanted to find someone like Simon. So she's like researching.
I was wondering, well, I have like a few theories, but one, did Simon like want Vicky to kill Lauren? Because like, oh, he just happened to leave his notebook there and the divorce thing there, like, knowing she'd be like jealous and want the money. And then like maybe Simon wanted Lauren dead but didn't want to do it. And so maybe he kind of set it up and wanted Vicky to. Well, then I have this theory. What if, remember how he caught his dad cheating on his mom? What if he was hooking up with Lauren? And he's like secretly hated her.
Oh my God. I didn't think about that. That's interesting.
I don't know. I was like spiraling.
You think what's his name? Hates Lauren?
Simon.
Like Simon, really.
Like maybe he just tried to like. Maybe he purposely like because she found him right later on in life. Like she reconnected with him.
Mm-hmm.
It could be where he's like, well, maybe I can use this moment and kind of like as like a revenge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he dragged her on, thinking, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get married or whatever." Kind of makes sense.
I don't know. I started going down that path. Paula was telling me earlier she thinks like Simon and Vicky are in on this together.
As like a kink,
I don't know.
like killing people, like hooking up with others. Because I know some people, like I mean, really, some relationships are bizarre like that.
Different. I did have a feeling. I feel like there's something more to Lauren than what we know so far. Like they're gonna throw something more, because I mean, she's not like squeaky clean, but the fact that she's like she wants the money, like I feel there has to be more to that.
Well, now that you say that, Julie, maybe there is no like 10-year agreement. They just like made it up, Simon and Vicky, and like gave it to this Christian guy. So maybe they like both want Lauren dead, and so they have this Christian guy do it, thinking he's gonna get this $20 million.
What in his right mind does he think? That's what I keep thinking. How does he think that he's gonna run away with all her money? Like he has to kill her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe
then
he
I
gets
had
like
another. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
maybe he just gets so delusional with like he starts to fall for Vicky and he gets like bloodlust for the money. He's like, I'm willing to do this. I've gotten away with other things. So I just feel like I don't know how it falls into their plan to have Christian kill Lauren, but that's what I'm leaning towards. What were you gonna say, Julie?
Oh, also another thing I was thinking about is how Vicky's like kind of stalking Lauren's house now. But like doesn't Simon often stalk her house? I'm like,
That's what
wouldn't
I
he maybe see her?
that's what I feel like to me is weird. Like why is like yeah, sure, Vicky is doing it for like this whole plan of like, oh, we're gonna kill her on Halloween and stuff, but it seems weird to me, a little off. Like she's very comfortable doing that. So maybe I feel like I can easily see Simon and Vicky plotting like a way, way bigger plan than um Christians and Vicky.
Like maybe they're just bored. Like what could be the reasoning behind it? Like targeting these two
The
people.
thrill.
Other than Lauren, who could potentially have the past of hooking up with someone's dad or with Simon's dad.
Yeah, I don't know why they would target like Christian and how they would even know about him.
I mean, she could have done research on like finding like a guy that who's would have a reason to kill people or who like killing people comes easy to. I was like, oh, I can convince him that we're in love and like whatever, or that I'm this bimbo and like dumb enough to like want to kill this person off for money. Because she like they mention it several times where it's like, oh, like or no, I think Judith, you had made a comment saying like she's really smart. Like I feel like just it would be so dumb of her to just say that it's like, oh yeah, like I can't or I don't know. I just thought it was so weird. Like I feel like it does. She would sound or looks really dumb for her to just give away like 20 grand or 20 million.
Mhm.
Like she wouldn't just give it away so easily. Or like the way that he's coming off like, oh, we have to get the money. It's for you, and it's like, oh, I'm doing this for you. Like I don't think she would so easily be convinced by him.
So I have one question. I know that Simon's dad has, what is it, 20 million? Is that how much he got in that one case? Or in the agreement? 20 million?
Yeah, 20 million.
So why do they keep mentioning that he's gonna run away with 21?
Like why so specific on that number?
Why no, why is it not just 20? Like I think Christian says 21. I was like, where are you getting the 21? Or I can't remember if it was Christian or Lauren. We're like, oh, 21 for us. It's not about the money.
Well,
Yeah.
If Lauren said 21, it'll be from her husband because she's supposed to get a million from him.
Oh, okay. Oh, from their divorce.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I was just like, where's this 1 million like missing? Or coming up from? But I see. See, she seems like she's just all about the money. I feel like they're all being very schemy except like the husband, de Lauren.
Totalmente.
And then like I was thinking about how he was texting her, I think the Friday before Halloween, and she was not texting back like normal. So I was thinking
Yeah.
Vicky had the phone.
Oh, how do you think she got the phone?
Well, remember she was like when she was stalking the house, she was like, oh, she leaves the back window unlocked.
Mm. Yeah, I was gonna say it was kind of weird that he's like, this is very one-sided. Why am I only getting like, oh, are you okay? Or it was like two questions and all she said was yes. It's like, yes, what? And like there was the
Yeah.
difference between like their texting, and I was like, why was she acting like that? That makes sense now. It'd be Vicky. Damn, Vicky.
And then the way they were like saying how the phone was kind of like looked like it was placed behind that
Mhm.
table or whatever, like kicked there.
Yeah, that it was kicked.
I don't know. I have so many questions. I don't know which way it's gonna go, or like a way we haven't even thought of.
Yeah.
And then like Simon's dad's death, like did Simon kill him?
You think it's
What's
more
up?
of the scheme how it's mentioned before? Like it wasn't actually real?
I don't know. Like, could Lauren have played a part in that death?
Do you think maybe Vicky could have, and that's why she? I mean, she said she changed her identity. Maybe that. I don't remember the reason why, but maybe that's why.
Yeah, I don't think we knew why.
And they're like, she's helping him again, like they're Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know.
That makes sense because Simon seems to be like not necessarily like devoted, but the fact that he's like, no, I have to give that money to Vicky, and like he's like he really cares about that. Like he doesn't want
Yeah.
to do her wrong, which I can see that maybe he maybe he obviously wanted to kill, but that his alibi was, oh, I'm in school, so maybe Vicky did it, and that's why she had to change her
He
identity.
owes,
And like, yeah,
or
like
like
they
maybe he
kind of
feels like
know.
he owes her.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
And maybe they met at that well, I can't remember the timeline of when he went to that institution, but maybe they met at that institution he went to. Because I can't remember why they went, how they met. Him and Vicky in the book, they said they met. I can't remember, but I don't
I
believe it.
think at his suicide support group.
Oh yeah. So maybe it was also that was like a friend. Maybe they met in this institution.
And he was in the institution like before he killed his dad, right?
Yeah. So I'm wondering if like they met in the institution and then
Like-
they like made this pact
Yeah.
or continued like a friendship. But I'm just talking
Well,
out of my butt here. I'm just trying to.
they were already together, no? When before the dad died.
Because she said the dad didn't like her, so he definitely knew her.
I thought that the dad hadn't met her. Why did I think that?
I thought at the near the beginning they said something about the dad not trusting any woman for 10 years
Mm-hmm.
or something like that.
And then I'm just like wondering what he told his, was it psychologist or psychiatrist after his dad died? Are we gonna figure that out?
There was also I don't know if it was in this part or the previous part where I think they were saying that Lauren or that the husband said that he hadn't seen Lauren within the time frame, but then it went against with what Lauren had put in the text. Do you think the husband is lying? Or do you think like Vicky at that point had the phone? Oh, did we freeze?
No, I don't think she had the phone because didn't she find the phone or the journal like 2 weeks before or like a week before they planned the whole Halloween thing? But I mean, it was hard to tell who was telling or which
Mhm.
one was the truth.
Mhm.
Because at first or my thought there was that, yeah, maybe the husband was lying and he's the one that did it. But I don't think that's true.
I don't think the husband did it.
Mm.
And what's up with the husband, all his like ex-wife, ex-wife, and I don't know. That's from the last section, and that was weird. Paula, what's your theory about like how you think Simon and Vicky are like plotting this all together?
Okay, so I think that the more I read, the less I thought that this was true. But did you guys notice that when Simon was doing his little stalking like of Christian, he was like, I always make sure I take my phone out at this spot each time. Like, is he texting Lauren always from around where Christian lives to try to frame Christian for her murder?
Oh.
I mean, it's very convoluted, so I don't really like, why would, I feel like I just noticed that detail and it sent like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, why would they include that? But I still don't know how that would really work. So I don't know.
Well, like, if they're looking at the history of like the phones, like, oh, where did it ping? Or
Yeah, that's
whatever,
what I
right?
was
It's like
thinking, like
location.
location. Yeah, like he's specifically using that location so that when the cops actually look into it, they'll geotag Christian.
Oh my gosh. And then what about the Starbucks? Is that like right by his office or something?
We don't know.
They also talk about, I can't remember the name. I think it starts with a V. It's like the cocktail lounge.
Oh, the
Across.
like one that's right below him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Simon has mentioned it. Christian's always looking at it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to come into play again. Maybe Lauren goes there.
Yeah.
But then like what do they have against Christian then? Because he clearly like doesn't know them. It's either like, okay, do they have something against Lauren and they're like, okay, Christian, we can get him to do it? Or do they have something against Christian too? Or both?
I think it makes more sense for them to have something against Lauren because we still don't fully know their past. Like, we know that they slept together. We know that according to Simon, Lauren was flirting and she was his one true love, which is weird because you're like 37 and she's your one true love. Okay. But like, I don't know. I feel like maybe Lauren, there's something like maybe Lauren did something that impacted the both Vicky and Simon, and that made her. And then maybe when Simon saw her again, he was like, oh, again, all this is kind of like not, it seems like a little bit out there. So I don't know if I believe all that yet, but I think the chances of Simon and Vicky working together are higher than them not, because another thing that really stands out is that they seem like they really care about each other and like they're always on each other's side. Except for like these moments where they're like, oh, they're cheating on me. But like, I don't know if that's real, like, or if it's just them trying to like manipulate the story. Because otherwise we see like that they really have each other's backs and they seem like they're a team. So it's weird that they'd be on the opposite sides of each other.
Because
And
then they
Vicky
also
was-
mentioned that Simon holds a grudge, or he always like holds a grudge against people. And then they kept mentioning, what's his name, Mitch? And then he's like, oh, I don't want to think about him. I don't want to think about him. Or something like that. So I don't know if it's just like the thought of her came back or like seeing her, and then from there he's like, I have to get rid of her. Or
Yeah, totally. Maybe he's been holding a grudge against Lauren this whole time. Oh, what if Lauren was hooking up with his dad?
We did say, yeah.
We just said
Yeah,
that.
we said that before you joined.
Sorry, I was late.
It's okay. But I feel like that's very possible. Especially
Yeah.
because
Or
Simon said that he saw, right?
Yeah, because Simon said he walked in on his father having sex with somebody, and we don't know who that person was. What if it was Lauren?
Mm-hmm.
That would make more sense.
And like, could she have been involved in the dad's murder too, or like
maybe she did kill him.
witnessed it or something?
You think Lauren did?
What if she did? Like out of like, oh, you said you were gonna give me money and blah blah blah, and or leave your wife and you didn't. So here you go. And now she's like, well, what's the second best thing? The one that inherited the money.
Years later.
What was the name of Simon's bully? Was it Mitchell? I have a very far-fetched, and I doubt it's just one random theory I came up with, but I don't think it's what's happening. But I feel like Christian, his name is Mick, right? His real name? I think. Nick or
Nick.
Mick?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I'm listening to it, so I can't. I don't
Me
know.
too. I thought it was Nick. Is it M-I, not N-I?
and I
Am I?
and
And oh, okay, never mind. I had a brief theory that maybe Christian
Was the
was
bully?
Simon's bully because he's had so many different identities, but I'm sure he would have recognized Simon by now with his research.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be the only theory I've come with so far why they want to have Christian be framed.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, besides the fact that he's like a con man, it'd be easy to do it because he's already has all these other things he's done. And then if he's in the limelight, maybe these women will come forward saying, hey, yeah, he's done this to us. So he's probably did kill that woman.
Yeah, Nick.
Nick.
N-I-C-K.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was Mick, but I'm listening to it.
Yeah. That's why I asked Christian.
I went back and reread the first chapter,
Mm-hmm.
like where he's like Simon's walking away from her house,
Mm-hmm.
because I was like talking to Paula. I'm like, was that for sure Simon, or was it just a man? But no, it was like Simon's chapter.
Yeah, but
And
like,
then,
what if the author's trying to fool us by putting his name there? I mean,
yeah,
it'd be dumb to put his name in that chapter and like then you introduce us Christian, but like I don't know. I wouldn't like that. Why put Simon? Why not just put like what is it, prologue? Is prologue before?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then so he's like walking home, and then he
Yeah.
kind of hides behind this wall, and he like sends those last texts to Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has a knife, and it kind of implies like he's gonna kill himself to be with her, whatever.
Yeah, and I feel like it's definitely him because he keeps repeating the stuff like fridge has a D, but not refrigerator. And I feel like in all his chapters, they kind of bring that up. So, because I kept thinking that too. I'm like, what if it's not him and it's Christian and or someone else that we haven't met yet, and he's fooling us by saying Simon. That'd be just too confusing. Why would he do that? I feel like Simon and Vicky could definitely be working together because I think, you know how he was running to be like that full professor thing against someone else, and then Vicky was like, "Oh, I have evidence that he was sleeping with someone." That's the thing, right? That happened, and he's like, "No, you shouldn't have said
Yeah.
that." Like I wanted to, like if he wanted to do it like fair and square, and he was against Vicky doing it, but he's like, "Oh, great." So I feel like maybe that supports that they do work together, like with schemes.
I wonder where Simon is like after the murder, and
Yeah, they haven't
because
said.
now the cops like looking for him. So
We never found out why Conrad is divorcing Lauren, right?
yeah, and we don't know exactly when because the friends were kind of like going for a while.
Because I think we've like when I don't know if it was a detective or something. They're like, "Oh yeah, we found this phone," and he's like, "Oh, so do you know who it is?" Like if he was surprised that there actually was a person, she was unfaithful.
Yeah, because if he moved out in September, he says, and then when was she like really putting the pressure on him to divorce? Like,
Mm,
I feel like it was after.
I feel like it wasn't until like end of September because all this is happening like October, beginning of October was when he decided to get a divorce, right?
yeah, because I
Yeah.
think he said sometime in October.
And then, like, why was she pushing him so hard not to give Vicky any money? Does she wanted all the money?
Kind of a long game considering the 10 years thing would apply to her as well, but maybe she
Mm,
feels like she can control Simon for that long. Or who knows, like seriously, maybe
it really is like our other theory where she just did something with Simon's dad back then and she's like an innocent victim and they're just screwing her. I don't know. But I don't know. I think like the other evidence, like from the ex-wife and from the husband, kind of make it seem like, and from Christian too, like it kind of does make it seem like she is a,
Gold digger.
yeah. But who knows? Maybe that's also deflection. I don't know.
I feel like she would be though. I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say because I think when they mentioned that like when Simon was younger and he hooked up with her and she was like, "Oh, my parents aren't home." It didn't seem like she didn't have money unless something happened and then that's when she's like, "Oh, he has money. Let me go after him so I can recover." Like, let's say she lost money or something. Vicky also has a burner, so I feel like that also supports that Simon and Vicky could be working together.
All these people with like multiple phones. So weird.
I like, is it common? Because like the fact that she's like, "Oh yeah, I have one too." Oh, just so like my husband doesn't know. But I'm like, Simon has one, Christian has one, Vicky has one. I mean, obviously Lauren has one, but like, what if she has more than that? I don't know. Like, they're all sketch.
They're all trying to con each other out of something. They're all gonna fail. They're all gonna start falling like flies.
They're gonna say they're all
Yeah,
gonna
who do
just.
you guys think is gonna ultimately come out on top?
I feel like Vicky.
Mm-hmm. My money's on her.
Hmm. I feel like she's pretty smart. And if I don't want to call Simon weak, but he seems to be having some like his own issues he has to deal with like constantly. And I feel like yes, Vicky has her issues too, but I think she's able to control and stay more balanced than he is. So definitely not Simon. And I mean Lauren's already dead, so Christian is stupid.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the
Christian,
detective's
like,
gonna
thinks
find
he's
find
fine.
him. Yeah.
What Christian? What?
Christian like thinks he's the smartest one, but he's
I
the
know.
one
He's like,
getting
oh,
gotten the most.
maybe he's gotten all the other girls, but like clearly Vicky knows his identity and all that stuff. So she's winning.
He messed with the wrong person. And honestly, I feel like he should have stuck with his normal pattern, you know. Like she, even if like she wasn't conning him, I still think she would raise major red flags as a mark.
The thing is, like, I assume she knew about him like before she ever went to his office.
And then she supposedly didn't find out about this whole Lauren thing till much later.
Unless
See?
there's like all part of a plan. And she was like, oh, if we do it like more towards the end, then he'll panic. And he'll be like, we have to like do something immediately.
I don't know, I have so many questions. I hope we get everything answered.
Because we have a short way to go. Two more sections. The next section is 65 to 84. Just stops right where it says the day after Halloween.
So we read 84 or we don't even
Yeah. Read 84, don't read 85.
Don't read
85 is covered by this if you have the book. But I think most of us are listening. I think. I have the
No,
book,
not
but
me.
no? You're reading it?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I wish I was
That's why
reading
I
it.
overread because I just kept going.
I mean, the chapters are also very small.
So don't read 85. Sorry, don't read 85.
Don't read 85. No. Don't read 85.
And are we bringing books next time?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, where's my phone? Where's my phone? There it is.
What are we? July, August?
August.
Oh,
Already.
I know.
I was either thinking we could do a just like any book that you already own and have been wanting to read.
Ooh.
Because I mean, I know I have many of my books that I'm like, yeah, and I don't read them because I'm reading the book club book, or I have another one on the side and I never finish. Or we could do a movie to book or show to book adaptation. I guess it'd be book to movie, book to show, or like a banned book. We've never done that. What do you guys think?
I
like
kind of
that.
like option one.
Bring a book that you already have, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of cool. I mean, it wouldn't. Some people might have the same books, but for the most part, it's like one that you already own, and that's your like bonus if it wins.
It's on your to read stack.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that too.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So we'll bring our book next week, Sunday, 7:30. And we'll see what happens. It's still an okay book.
It's all right. I think it's gotten a little better.
I love it.
I did listen to it this time, and I think I listened to it in one day, and I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. Like I wanted to continue just to find out more, but it's still not like I love it.
think the characters aren't very interesting, but I like
Yeah.
the plotting. Plotting is interesting.
Yeah.
What I hate about the Audible is like where Simon can be talking, but then it's the same character doing the voice for Vicky, and then it goes from Vicky's perspective, and then like she's doing the voices for like multiple people. That's the one thing I don't like. But otherwise, it's good.
When the guy does the girl voice.
Yeah, like the yes, when the whoever it is that does is it Simon? Or it was like when he talks like high, tries to do high pitch. I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
I think the worst one is the Christian voice when he's trying to
Oh,
do Vicky. When Christian's trying to do Vicky, it just sounds so weird.
Yeah, that it's interesting.
Guess we'll see.
Okay. Oh, and Corina says she couldn't make it, But have a great discussion and take care. She said maybe she'll be able
Apenitas.
to join us. Yeah. No. She sent it a while ago. I just barely saw it because I threw my phone over there.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, she was at the beach. I was like, oh, nice. So
Fun.
maybe she'll join us in the next one. If not, we'll have her like tell us what she thinks at the end. Just have her talk about it. Just be like, 10 minutes, go. Just kidding.
Mm.
Okay, so I'll see y'all. We'll see what happens. Have a good night.
Buenas
Good
noches.
night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye, Tyson.
How does this? Oh, there you go.